Peacemaker Season 2 Episode 4 has dropped, so let's talk about it. We start off this episode with a flashback 33 years ago. You basically see a younger version of Keith and Christopher, obviously, as well as Augie, and they're basically hunting in a forest, and Augie basically ends up shooting an extraterrestrial. We actually learn something very important here, and that is the fact that Augie actually never ended up making any of this technology that he had with the quantum unfolding chamber, the QUC. He never ended up making it. Turns out this extraterrestrial had access to it all. So yeah, he ends up killing the terrestrial, and they end up stealing the QUC. From here, we basically pick up, obviously continuing from the last episode where Argus is heading towards Peacemaker's home. We just get a bunch of dialogue between Economos, Judo Master, Red Saint Wild, Sasha Bordeaux, and of course Langston. While all this is happening, Economos slickly messages Chris telling him that Argus is on his way and he needs to escape. We then pick up with Chris back in his actual home, obviously in our main DC timeline. He realizes something has happened in his house because he's now noticed the bullet holes that are in the roof. Everything's just kind of destroyed. He doesn't think too much of it. He just assumes it's Eagly that destroyed the entire house, which I don't know how, but apparently Eagly's also really hungry. He wants some food from the fridge, so they just go back and forth. Peacemaker then gets the text from Economos telling him to get out of the house ASAP. While Peacemaker is attempting to leave his home, he takes the QUC's main function, like the thing that actually activates and opens the portals to the other dimensions. It looks awfully similar to a helmet, but yeah, he basically takes that and he runs off with it. While all this is happening, Argus, Red Saint Wild, and Judo Master here to take in Peacemaker. One of the most foul scenes happen in this show because we see Red Saint Wild eating a piece of Eagly's shit to figure out where he ended up next. As Peacemaker's obviously leaving his home, runs into the forest, but he gets caught up with Judo Master. They have a quick rematch from season 1. Obviously, Peacemaker comes out on top once again. As a means to escape, Peacemaker obviously calls in Leota to pick him and Eagly both up to drive off to find another new spot so he can open up this QUC. Obviously, right before Eagly and Peacemaker do run away, Red Saint Wild was just about to take out Eagly, but Economos, being the good guy he is, being the friend, actually pushes over Red Saint Wild and knocks him down and makes him hit headfirst into a rock. After he regains some consciousness, he basically says Eagly is the prime eagle and how, because of the blood that's dripping down from his head, he has opened his mystical third eye. So obviously with Peacemaker gone, they do enter his home in hopes of getting the QUC or finding out some more about it. Obviously Economos is the hacker, trying to figure out if they can open the code. He basically stalls this entire time and he hopes that while he does open it by stalling, he hopes that Peacemaker is able to then create the QUC at the other place that him and Leota are headed to right now. Then we basically pick up with Leota and Peacemaker having a conversation about how Augie was able to get all this equipment and whatnot for Peacemaker, helmets and whatnot. He asks the question of if Augie was the one that made the entire QUC, which obviously Peacemaker ends up saying he didn't make it. Along with the helmets, it's also complicated. As Leota and Peacemaker end up going to the area that they wanted, it was some cabin in the middle of the woods that Peacemaker and his dad used to go to. We pick back up with Economos back at Peacemaker's house, obviously now trying to hack into the QUC. Then we pick back up with Chris, obviously now. So this thingy-majiggy, what I was talking about earlier, it's like a doorway, I guess, like the main opening thing for the QUC. He's using this now in this cabin to now open a brand new door for the QUC. So Peacemaker is obviously able to open a brand new QUC, so he's now able to now go into this dimension area from this cabin, and the one that's at his home is now just turned right back into a closet. We go back to Rick Flag Sr., who's getting a call from Sasha Bordeaux because Argus obviously has now failed. No Peacemaker and no QUC. He realizes, okay, maybe this isn't the way to get Peacemaker. What can I do instead? What does he do? Goes right to Hardcore. He obviously knows Hardcore is going through shit, not getting any jobs after being blacklisted after the whole events from season 1. He basically manipulates her into bringing in Peacemaker because if she does, she'll be able to get a job. We pick back up with Peacemaker and Leota talking at the cabin. Peacemaker's basically telling her about this alternate universe that's within the QUC. He's basically talking about the life that he has in that universe. Leota's basically explaining to him that it's not real, that it could be something in his mind that could be like warping his reality of what he's seeing. It could not be real. But obviously Peacemaker's insisting that it is real, everything is happening. And he actually believes in the facade that, he has to go back there. He basically is a part of it. He wants his relationship with Hardcore to be fixed. Like, he's basically believing in all the bullshit shenanigans that he has going on in this other universe. We're coming to the end of the episode, and Chris basically messages Hardcore to meet up with him because of this emergency that's going on with this Argus situation, the new QUC being formed. We also see Red Saint Wild, who is now doing some sort of like ritualistic thing where he now has these like blue flames coming out. He basically is able to track exactly where Eagly is, and he finds out where he is. Hardcore obviously is now heading towards Peacemaker, but before that happens, Rick Flag Sr. is there, and Hardcore reveals exactly where Peacemaker is. So we basically end off this episode with Argus now also knowing where Peacemaker is. Post-credit scene of this episode is just an extended dialogue version of the scene of Red Saint Wild eating Eagly's shit. He's just talking about everything that Eagly ate. He's able to figure out just from one single bite of his poop what Eagly ate. Big reveals for this episode. Let me know what you guys are thinking. What are your guys' thoughts and theories about what the QUC actually is? Whose helmet is Peacemaker actually wearing? Like, where did he get the helmet from? Let me know what you guys think.